C1 compressor gate is a high-quality stereo dynamics processor and what Waves calls a parametric compander. It also has a dynamic filtering processor that can perform many audio duties such as sweetening a mix or fixing a mix with sound quality issues. Waves breaks this plugin down into these instances: C1 comp, C1 gate, and the C1 comp and sidechain. The three main components of C1 are the Compressor Expander module, the Gate Expander module, and the Filter module. The Compressor Expander module has the ability to operate as a high-level compressor, a gentle high-level expander, or as a mid-level compressor that can be tuned to any desired signal level. It also has a Cancellation Dynamics mode allowing the cancellation of very high-level sounds. The Gate Expander module operates as a normal full-featured gate or expander and can also be used to take low-level signals and compress them upward. The Filter module can perform conventional sidechain dynamics processing as well as their unique band-split dynamic EQ mode, which allows compression, expansion, or gating of any particular band. C1 has many instances depending on the platform you are using. We will be using the Comp Gate instance for our demo. Let's check out the controls. First, let's look at the compression controls. Notice the gain reduction meter that displays a real-time visual for the compression expansion processing. Be aware of where the 0 dB marker is on the meter. Below the meter is a numerical field for infinite peak hold for the reduction or expansion. You can click anywhere on the meter display to reset this value. Above the meter is the bypass button. You should use this frequently to listen to your dynamic processing compared to the original source audio. The compressor control level meter also has a peak hold field below it that is reset just like all other Waves meters by clicking anywhere on the meter or field. The threshold grab marker is an easy way to control the point at which the compression begins. Watch the level meter and adjust the threshold marker while, more importantly, using your ears to judge your processing decisions. Low ref or low-level reference mode simulates the behavior of conventional compressors. Lowering the threshold causes the signal level to drop as more gain reduction occurs. Use peak ref mode or peak level reference mode if you want to keep levels approximately the same. When you lower the threshold, the output gain increases. Makeup gain is the conventional output of the compressor module used to compensate for gain reduction processing. The threshold adjusts the level at which the soft knee compression or expansion begins. There are 5 ways to adjust the threshold. You can click and drag the marker in the input-output graph left or right. You can also click and drag the marker next to the compression control level meter up or down. You can click and drag up or down in the marker box next to the threshold field window. Lastly, you can click and drag up or down in the field window or enter values directly into it with the keypad. The ratio control is next, and it controls the amount of compression or expansion applied to the signal. A setting of 1:1 equals no compression, whereas a setting of 50:1 equals a soft need limiter. Ratios ranging from 0.5 to 1:1 produce high-level expansion. Ratios higher than 50:1 are displayed as negative values between -50:1 and 5:1. This mode is called Cancellation Mode and is used literally for canceling out very loud signals while retaining quiet ones. This is explained in more detail in the PDF user guide included with your plugin purchase. To change the ratio, you can click and drag in the field, enter the value in with the keypad, or use the up-down arrow keys for more accurate settings. The attack control is shown in milliseconds and adjusts the time it takes for the compression expansion to begin once the threshold is crossed. The release control, also shown in milliseconds, adjusts the time it takes for the compression expansion to cease and the signal return to its unaffected state. It ranges from 1 millisecond to 10 seconds. The same method of data entry applies here as well. PDR, or Program-Dependent Release, allows the release times to vary in reaction to the input signal. The same means to control the values apply here too. Higher settings are better for short-duration transient signals, and lower settings or a slower release is better for audio that has sustaining durations. Adaptive release control is a very powerful tool for a variety of dynamics processing needs. The EQ mode switch has 3 modes: wideband, sidechain, and split. When using wideband mode, it operates as a standard or conventional compressor that affects all frequencies. When using sidechain mode, the audio signal chosen to feed the sidechain input of this plugin is first routed through the filters in the EQ module. This allows for the dynamics to respond to a specifically defined range of frequencies. When using split mode, the sidechain audio is filtered, but the original signal is split into two different bands. The active band, shown in red on the graph, is the only band processed by the compression or expansion, whereas the passive band is not dynamically processed at all. This creates what Waves calls a dynamic EQ. Now let's look at the gate expander module controls. The bypass button should be used often to compare your processed and original signals. The gate expander button switches the modes between gate and expander. The floor control is normally referred to as range in conventional gates and allows some amount of signal to remain and thus not muting it entirely. When it is set to infinity, no signal is left at low levels, and when gated, the signal is effectively muted. When it is set to 0, there is no gating or change of low levels. When set to positive values up to 12 dB, the low-level signal is actually increased. This creates a low-level compression effect, and the softer passages are actually made louder. Waves suggests that you use this in the soft knee expander mode. Expander mode allows the floor setting to go beyond the infinity setting and enter a cancellation mode. This is shown by a negative number followed by a capital N for negative polarity. The floor control is adjusted in the standard Waves protocol. The two gate thresholds of C1 allow a smoother transition from the gate in and out setting. This can eliminate unwanted gating artifacts normally found in classic gates. Gate open is adjusted by the triangle marker in the input-output graph or the compressor control level meter, as well as the standard means of data entry. Gate close is adjusted in the identical fashion as the gate open control. Attack is next and adjusts the beginning response time of the gate expander effect. Release adjusts the ending response time for the gate expander effect. Hold adjusts the time in which the gate is guaranteed to stay open. The EQ mode switch, only used in sidechain instances, contains the same three selections as those earlier described in the Compressor Expander module. Some of the controls of this plugin are linkable between the compressor and gate modules, and they are the threshold and gate open controls, the attack controls, the release controls, and EQ mode. The filter module and display are next. The filter type button and pull down allow the selection of low pass, band pass, high pass, and band reject. Next is the frequency control, which you can adjust in the standard fashion of Waves entry, as well as a marker in the graphic display. Drag it left or right to adjust the frequency, and up or down to adjust the Q. The Q control also has a data field for entry as well. The active or processed band is shown in red, and the passive band is shown in blue. The look-ahead control is based upon the attack time and allows the signal to be delayed slightly to react to incoming transients in such a way that there was less transient shape distortion that lead to unwanted gating artifacts. There is no reason not to use this feature. The input-output graph displays the input-output relationship for both the compression and gate modules. The input level is the horizontal scale and the output level is the vertical scale. The yellow curve shows the relationship of the output and input signals. Traveling along this curve is a small indicator for real-time level for the dynamic processing. Notice the gate open and close grab markers, which provide a convenient way to operate the gate using the graph display. There is also a compression threshold grab marker, which again makes it easier to adjust while visually monitoring the graphic display for peaks. Key mode allows one channel's signal strength to control the other's dynamics. This is called keying. A common application of this is ducking, where the gain of one signal is reduced when the other signal reaches the given threshold. I use this a great deal when producing a voiceover that is over music. The music signal can be reduced when the voice comes in, and it returns to normal when the voice ceases. An example of keyed gating would be gating a bass track with generally long notes triggered by a percussive or pulsing rhythmic track. The 3 key modes are stereo, left keys right, and right keys left. Next is the monitor switch. Click to toggle these buttons to 3 modes. Audio monitors the normal C1 output, including all processing. Sidechain monitors the equalized sidechain signal if either processor is in split or sidechain mode. When both processors are in wideband mode, the wideband audio sidechain signal is heard. When in key mode, only the keyed signal is audible. Passive mode. If either processor is in split mode, this selection monitors the unprocessed band. This is useful when de-essing or filtering noise from a signal. Lastly, let's check out the input and output level controls. The separate input control fields are a bonus when you need to fix a mix that is slightly stronger on one channel. Click and drag in these fields to change their values individually. Shift-click both of them to link your adjustment. The output fader allows you to adjust the global level of the plugin. Click and drag the fader or within the fields, or enter the value with a numeric keyboard. Next to this are the notorious infinite peak hold meters with value fields below and clip indicators above them. As per usual, you can click anywhere in the meter display to reset the peak hold values. If you thought this was a lot of information, make sure to check out the C1 user guide for more information that you will certainly find useful. Also, check out the C4 and L1 movie tutorials for other related information.